Hi everyone, Hannah here from Daisy Farm Crafts. I've got an updated version of my modern dash blanket in this video. I first made a version of this blanket a few years ago with some different colors and some different yarn. But since that original yarn is no longer in production, I wanted to try it out with some new yarn and give it a little bit of an update. So this blanket is made with Bernat Bundle Up yarn, which is 100% polyester, and I am using a size I 5.5 millimeter hook, and the finished size is a baby blanket size, about 33 inches by 37 inches. And as usual, you can find the full written pattern for this blanket on daisyfarmcrafts.com. Alright, so to calculate the base chain for this blanket, I needed to multiply 5 by an odd number and then add 2. So for this practice swatch, I'm going to do 5 times 3, which is 15, and then I'm going to add 2 for a base chain of 17. So again, that pattern repeat is 5 times an odd number plus 2. And I'm going to start in the third chain from the hook with what we like to call a half double crochet cluster. So I'm going to start by yarning over, inserting my hook into that third chain, then yarning over and pulling up a loop, and then I'm going to yarn over again, insert my hook into the same space, yarn over and pull up a loop. So now I have 5 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through all 5 loops. And I'm going to do the same thing into the next chain, yarning over and inserting my hook twice into the same space. And I'm going to do 1 half double crochet cluster into each chain all the way across. And after I've worked my last stitch into that last chain, then I'm going to chain 2 and turn. And now I'm going to start working what we like to call wide half double crochet cluster. So instead of working into the tops of the stitches like usual, I'm going to insert my hook into the spaces between the clusters from the previous row. So just making a little bit wider stitch. So I'm going to do the same thing, yarn over, insert my hook into that space between the first 2 stitches, yarn over and pull up a loop again, yarn over, pull through all 5 loops. And I'm just going to do that all the way across, always inserting my hook in the spaces in between the stitches instead of into the tops of the stitches. And at the end of this row, you just want to make sure you don't miss the last space in between the last stitch and the turning chain. That's where you'll work your last stitch. And then again, chain 2 and turn. And from now on, we're just always going to be working wide half double crochet cluster. So just doing the exact same thing as we just did on row 2, inserting your hook in the spaces in between the stitches or the posts of the stitches. And I'm just going to do this for a total of 5 rows with this pink color, and then I'll show you how to bring in the white. Okay, so I have 5 rows of this pink color, and now I'm going to work the first 5 stitches with pink. So that's 3. 4. And then on this 5th stitch, I'm going to pause when I have 5 loops on my hook. And I'm going to finish the stitch by pulling through with the white. So I'm just going to lay that across my hook and pull through those 5 loops and leave myself a tail that I can weave into the blanket later. And I'm going to work the next 5 stitches with white, but I'm going to crochet over that pink tail and carry it along the row with me so that I can pick it up after I've worked my 5 stitches. So just kind of gently lay it across the top of your work. You want it to be fairly tight, but not too tight that it makes your, blanket ripple. And there's 4. And then on the 5th stitch, I'm going to bring my white yarn forward just so it doesn't get tangled. I'm always going to try to keep my pink yarn to the back and my white yarn to the front whenever I'm switching, just to keep them from getting tangled. Pull through with the pink. And now I'm going to work 5 stitches with the pink, and I'm going to crochet over the white yarn. And if this were the whole blanket, this is what I would do all the way across the row. Continue to alternate every 5 stitches, always crocheting over whichever color I'm not using and bringing it through my work. And I'm just going to do 1 row with the white. So at the end of this row, after I work my last stitch, I am going to cut the white yarn. And then chain 2 and turn. And I'm still going to insert my hook in between the stitches of the previous row, but I'm going to also insert my hook underneath that carried yarn, just so that it covers it up a little bit better and prevents those little bits of white from peeking through. And then same thing when I get to the white stitches, I'm going to insert my hook underneath the pink yarn that was carried through. And that's really all you need to know to be able to work this blanket. Everything is worked in counting of 5. So on the rows with the white, you're working 5 white stitches, 5 pink stitches, switching back and forth, and then there's 5 rows of pink between each white row. So once you're finished, you can weave in all of your ends with a tapestry needle. And after I finished my blanket, I added a front and back post double crochet ribbing border, which I will show you how to work in the next part of the video if you'd like to add that to your blanket as well. Okay, so as you can see, I have a little bit different swatch here. This is from my Snowy Mountains crochet blanket, but I used the exact same stitches and yarn in that blanket with the same border. So I'm just going to show you how I work that border. So first thing you want to do is pull up a loop in the corner and chain 3. And I'm just going to do 1 round of double crochet around the blanket. And a double crochet means you yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And on the sides, I'm just going to try to do my best to work 1 double crochet per row along the sides of my blanket. And on this first round of double crochet, I worked 5 double crochets into each corner space. Four, 5. And then when I went across the ends of my blanket, I found that my border was the most even when I kind of did an alternating pattern of 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet. So I'm going to work start with 2 in the first space and then work 1 into the next space. And I'm still kind of inserting my hook in between those stitches and just alternating 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet all the way across. So I'm just going to keep doing that all the way around, working 5 double crochets in all the other corners, and then working back up the side and across the other end. So back at the starting corner, you'll want to work 5 double crochets into the starting corner as well. And now I'm going to start working front post and back post double crochet. So I'm going to insert my hook behind that post and work my double crochet. And now I'm going to insert my hook behind the post on the back side of my work and work a double crochet. And I'm just going to keep alternating, going on the front side and then going on the back side, always sticking my hook behind that post and then working my double crochet. And I'm going to just keep alternating that all the way down the side. And once I get to the corners, I'm going to keep alternating front and back post double crochet, but I'm going to work 3 stitches around the middle post of those 5 double crochets I did before. So I'm going to start with a back and then do a front around that same post. And then a back. It's a little tricky to grab it sometimes. All around that middle post. So I've kept the pattern alternating. I just work 3 of them around the middle post, and then I'll just keep continuing the pattern, whether I'm supposed to be going front or back, and keep working all the way around the blanket. And so I'm going to do that for each of the corners. And I'm going to do that same thing when I get back to the starting corner, and I'm just going to keep going in the same direction and going around my blanket. And after that first round, I'm going to just go around again, and I'm going to try to make sure that my post double crochets are popping out in the same direction that they did before. So again, I'm going to alternate front and back posts, but I'm going to keep it matching to the previous row. And you can make this border as thick as you like and go around as many times as you want. For the modern dash blanket, I needed 6 skeins of the pink color, and I think I ended up going around 4 times total for my border. And again, you're going to just keep working the corners the same. You're going to try to find that middle post and just work 3 alternating front and back posts around that middle post. And once you've done as many rounds as you like, you can just slip stitch into the starting corner and tie off. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy making this blanket. If you make any of our projects from Daisy Farm Crafts, please come share a picture with us on Facebook or Instagram with hashtag Daisy Farm Crafts. We would love to see. And I hope you have a great day and happy crocheting!